Hello, everyone. I'm so excited and honored to welcome you to our Google for Startups Accelerator Canada virtual demo day. Today, we're celebrating the progress and achievements of the 12 amazing technology startups in our 2021 cohort. My name is Ashley Francisco, and I lead Google's startup developer ecosystem efforts across Canada. What that means is I have the absolute pleasure of working alongside the amazing founders who you'll hear from today. Our goal is simple. We aim to bring the best of Google's people, products, programs, and technology to startup teams across the country through our 10-week accelerator offering. Over the last 10 weeks, each of these startup teams have been on a journey with us, tackling major projects and milestones around product, design and UX, technical infrastructure, AI, ML, growth marketing, international expansion, sales, people operations, and more. And in true Google fashion, each team set lofty OKRs for themselves. And today, we'll hear about their progress and their plans for the future. So let's get started. Each startup will have 5 minutes to share their story with you and to respond to one question. So be sure to ask any questions that you might have in the chat during their presentations. Without further ado, I'd love to turn it over to AccessNow to get us started. AccessNow is a social enterprise company developing smart technology that connects people with disabilities, governments, and corporations to accurate and up-to-date information about the accessibility of places around the world. Over to you, Mayan.
Hi, my name is Mayan Ziv, and I'm the founder and CEO at AccessNow. This is my life. I was born with muscular dystrophy and have used a wheelchair to navigate a world that wasn't built for me. From steps at entrances, broken elevators, and so much more, a lack of accessibility prevents me from engaging with my community or traveling abroad. The problem is that we don't actually know how and what is accessible to people with disabilities. And there's a significant data gap of information related to accessibility of the built environment. So how accessible is the world? Especially when we know that accessibility can mean different things to different people. My needs as a wheelchair user can be very different from someone who might be blind or someone who's deaf or experiences another type of disability. In order to develop solutions that are inherently inclusive, we must design our technology to listen and learn from the needs of people with disabilities. At AccessNow, our mission is to establish the world's go-to resource for accessibility information. Over the past 5 years, we've heard loud and clear from our community, and we've crowdsourced information about accessibility in 35 countries on our mobile app. Today, we're excited to share the next step in our journey. Our patent-pending technology uses AI and machine learning to understand and predict how accessible the world is based on a variety of sensor data. We use computer vision kinematic data from smartphone sensors to indicate obstacles, sound to detect noise levels, and natural language processing to extract information from reviews and available text online. All of this data is fed into our dimension reduction and feature extraction module to groom data and feed it into a learning module producing accessibility attributes. And we've had some really exciting growth. We've compiled 10 million labeled data points to train our modules. And this summer, we've committed 4,000 hours of mapping from people with disabilities in the field. In the last 12 months, we generated $1 million in revenue. Yet this trillion-dollar market remains largely overlooked. 1 billion people live with a disability today. Millions of companies are legally compliant to be accessible, yet there are little to no resources to guide people effectively or at scale. Current solutions are labor-intensive, manual, and unscalable, and they don't always reflect a pan-disability lens. It can take years or honestly even decades to audit a city with measuring tapes, only to find that data is now outdated. Our business model works by charging organizations a fee to access our database of services. allowing them to tap into our platform for key insights on how accessible their organizations are, receive sentiment analysis from consumer feedback, and share our inclusive data directly within their own products and solutions. At AccessNow, we're building an inclusive, connected ecosystem, empowering people with disabilities globally by connecting consumers, companies, governments, engineers, and entrepreneurs with our intelligent data resource to make better decisions and remove barriers. Change is happening, and recent major investments made in accessibility signal market value and activity like never before. Now is the time to close the disability divide, and the world is listening. We've established ourselves as leaders, garnering over 40 million impressions in earned media. It's all thanks to our incredible team. As founder and CEO, I've been recognized internationally for leadership on disability issues, including the Governor General's Innovation Award and the Top 100 Most Powerful Women in Canada Award. Our VP of Tech, Dr. Moshe Levine, is a serial entrepreneur with 7 patents to his name, a 2-time PhD in electrical engineering and business administration. Our focus now is on developing our technology for scale, with a minimum fundraising goal of $5 million in the fall of 2021, in order to invest in the development of our AI, our API and network infrastructure to prioritize scale. At AccessNow, we're building a movement of accessibility for all, and we invite you to join us. Thank you.
Truly incredible work. One question for AccessNow: how can you guarantee the quality of the machine learning process that you referenced?
Thanks, Ashley. After 5 years of engaging with thousands of people with disabilities, we know that traditional machine learning excludes people who don't fit the norm. Our ethical AI approach is putting lived experience of people with disabilities at the center of our algorithm development and learning modules. The data is gathered via our mobile app and additional dedicated measuring tools that we've developed to collect all dimensions of accessibility from vision, kinematics, space, and sound. And a lot of this, the majority of it, is driven by people with disabilities. And this summer, our mapping project, supported by the Government of Canada, will produce the largest survey in accessibility in the built environment that's ever been done.
Thank you so much to the AccessNow team. Now we'll be hearing from Guillermo, CEO of ICYU, an Alberta-based augmented reality and AI video platform that enables an on-demand connection between experts and customers to instantly resolve service issues, triage problems, and prevent downtime.
Hi, I'm Guillermo Salazar. I'm the CEO for ICYU. We're a visual work platform for field service teams. So what is field service? These are people that keep the world on. They are conventionally they've been called blue collar. We consider them to be service superheroes. They're the frontline workers that keep the power on, the water hot, your appliances running. They build our critical infrastructure so we can live the world we live. They estimate, they sell, they deliver service, they train, they inspect. They're our first responders when you have a commercial, home, or industrial calamity. They're massively underserved by technology. They are a huge market, and they're very, very expensive. Our mission is to empower these workers in this economy with the digital tools to make their work safer, quicker, and less complex. Key pain this group suffers is that they spend 40% of the time driving job to job at a cost of $350 per trip. Annually, they make 750 million of these trips in North America alone, amounting to a $230 billion expense on just rolling trucks. We also know that video is placing in person. You're probably watching this presentation right now at your own time, on demand, at your own pace. Normally, this would be something we do in person, but as life force change, together we've unbundled the investment process, making it easier and less expensive for everybody. We're doing the same thing for field service. We're building into the enterprise process, unbundling service tasks, focusing on data integrations, and using emerging tech like AR and AI to automate the experience. Here's what we know to be true. 50% of truck rolls can be avoided. We know that legacy processes consume the most expensive and scarce resources, meaning we are sending the most expensive resource to some of the least complex jobs, creating a massive economic inefficiency. We know that our customers and our business partners expect on-demand virtual resolutions. And we know that field data is diverse and precious, and very little of it has been captured to date. So how do we solve these problems? The first thing we got to do is we need to make it 10 times easier. ICYU is built on a universal connection on the browser of the smartphone. No app, no login, no passwords required to initiate a call on your customer side. Your technician and your team sets up a call, sends an SMS message to anybody around the world, and they're instantly on a video call, to the point that we've got some customers that are resolving problems in less than 20 seconds. And then you make the data 10 times more valuable by having ICYU integrate into where work originates. We're integrated into Salesforce, we're integrated into billing, calendar functions, in addition to an open API that can connect to many of our customer systems. And then you solve work in real time at the moment. So we can capture pictures or photos or data of a work site. We can guide, we can resolve, capture all that data in a single spot in real time to make your technician's life a whole lot easier. And then we store all that data in a single spot. All that data is indexed, searchable, shareable. With a single link that integrates back into your enterprise system, you have access to all the data that was captured during that call. And all of this happens with one single click. So let's take a look at the category of video calling. We're all very familiar with a video call, FaceTime, Teams, Zoom, whatever. This is what we call unintelligent video. It's a marginal upgrade to a voice call and will never integrate back into systems and will never provide you data for reporting, analytics, or insight. The world is asking for a new platform for video that is built for the smartphone, built for and from the smartphone era, where you have a universal connectivity, where you have we're picking up all the metadata that comes from the smartphone and using the smartphone's visual capabilities to strike resolution or at least collect data at the very, very beginning. All of these features build a data platform that helps us build out an artificial intelligence platform that can drive further automations, ultimately getting to autonomous service where all the low complexity problems of the world are instantly solved automatically using a video platform. We launched in January 2020. We've grown 34x revenue in the last 12 months, and we just closed out April with 27,000 USD MRR. We're focusing right now in the utilities, construction, and construction services vertical. All of these companies have very, very similar field operations, and we integrate into their field operations practices, and we're learning from them to help grow and better the product as we begin to mature and move into our next phases. We've got two pricing accesses, a per seat per user price, $59 per month, and then we also have a consumption-based model for unlimited users for our largest enterprise customers. Our pricing has increased around 3x since 2020, and our average deal size has increased around 10 times. The founding team on the far left, Luke Kruger, he's our CRO. He runs our sales and marketing motion. He's a proven marketing sales leader with international experience and has himself had a single exit. Myself, Guillermo, CEO, 20 years data analytics professional, 10 years in enterprise sales. Danny, CEO and CTO, software and electrical engineer, also has an exit to himself. We're all working to drive this product forward. Danny runs product and team. We're raising 1.5 million USD to drive our Series A, building out our technology team, sales, and our customer success teams. Thank you very much. Any questions?
A question for you, Guillermo. How are you different from the competition in this space?
So our competitors are largely from the augmented reality glasses era. And their focus is really around the event. Our focus is on the data and the universal connection. So what makes us different is that the orientation of all of our product is around what kind of data can we collect, and how can we feed those insights back into the enterprise system. Our competition is more focused on that instant AR experience. Now, that being said, in all of our sales efforts, we've only ever come up against our competitor once in about 400, 500 pitches. We typically will compete in a sales context against Apathy, truck rolls, change, and maybe even Microsoft Teams. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you, Guillermo and team. Now I'll turn it over to Homewise, a Toronto-based startup that automates the mortgage process with a 5-minute application and predictive technology to match clients with the best mortgage options from over 30 banks and lenders. Over to you, Jesse.
Hey, I'm Jesse Abrams, the co-founder of Homewise, and I'm excited to tell you how we're using data intelligence to create a mortgage platform that helps first-time homebuyers get their mortgage and their home buying experience faster and easier than ever before. Buying a home is one of the most exciting times in someone's life. But getting a mortgage really sucks, especially for first-time home buyers. It's inconvenient, inefficient, exceptionally confusing, and on top of that, it's pretty biased, generally only having one choice if you go to one bank. And classic brokers, well, they aren't that much better, usually only having 2 to 3 choices. On top of that, the Canadian marketplace is huge and really centralized. We have over $400 billion in mortgages annually, and that first-time homebuyer marketplace I talked about, well, they're nearly half of home buyers in Canada. That's why we started Homewise. At Homewise, we simplify and tailor the mortgage process with automation and predictive technology to save clients time, confusion, and a lot of money. It starts off with a really simple online application that takes only 5 minutes. And we know everyone's not a mortgage expert, so we explain at each step what they're doing and why they're answering those questions. On average, this saves clients 90% in the mortgage process. Then our data intelligence gets to work, searching the market of 30 banks and lenders with thousands of mortgage options, finding them the best rates and features for their unique needs. On average, we're saving clients up to 17 basis points. Then, unlike the other guys who just might show you a rate, we provide clients with full transparency, providing the lender, the rate, and the key features, helping them mortgage with confidence and actually save money today and in the future. From there, our clients are set up with a personal advisor to guide them all the way from A to Z, providing transparency at each step and a ton of automation to make the process faster and easier than ever before and save the clients the most time and the most money. When we look at the competition, they're really playing on the technology surface, focused purely on rate. But the marketplace is shifting away from that, looking for value advice and recommendations, because those short-term rates can lead to a lot of cost losses in the future. And that's why Homewise has a really big opportunity to play in that market. That's why we're really focused on our intelligent recommendation system that shifts from human opinion to data intelligence. It starts off with something we call Mortgage Match, which searches through thousands of lender options, tailoring the best 3 options for each of our clients. Then we score clients to guide their journey from high to medium to low touch, allowing us to scale. And finally, we price them based on their level of elasticity, increasing our revenue per client and decreasing our attrition. This allows us to move from an old model where they might need 10 advisors to one where we need one super-powered Homewise advisor. That's why we've seen consistent growth since launching in 2019, tripling our revenue year over year last year and on pace to do the same thing again this year, seeing rapid growth every quarter. We also have a very strong business model where there's no liability in the books and a strong opportunity for LTV. On average, we make $3,600 per client, but that's completely free for the client. We actually get paid by the lender. Because it's mortgages, in Canada, our mortgages are generally 5-year terms, so we have the opportunity to refinance them every 5 years and also drive other LTV opportunities. And to make that an even bigger opportunity, we call ourselves Homewise, not Mortgagewise, for a reason. That's because we want to own the whole home buying experience, having the mortgage live at the nucleus of the whole journey. That's why we've partnered with companies in the real estate, insurance, real estate lawyer, and post-purchase phase to add more value to our clients by simplifying the process and saving them money, and also extract more revenue opportunities for our business while increasing our TAM. We have a 2-pronged acquisition strategy. First off, focused on B2C. My background's all marketing and advertising, so we've been very strong there so far, doing ads in places like Facebook and Instagram, but of course, most importantly, Google and YouTube, which have been incredible for us. We also have a B2B2C model, where we actually partner with the other companies, and our application lives directly within their experience. That's companies like realtors, financial advisors, and tech companies. This has become a really big source for our future because it's a strong handoff from them to us and adds a lot of value to their experience. And we have an incredible team to do this. As mentioned, my experience is all in marketing. I was a marketing magazine top 30 under 30, an American Marketing Association top marketer on the rise. My co-founder Carlos has been an executive at companies like Mogo, Snap Financial, and Itaú Banco, and has a ton of experience in lending and AI. And Madara, our CTO, actually started my career with him 12 years ago in advertising, and he's a lot of experience in that world working with some of Canada's largest banks. We're also supported by a great group of advisors and accelerators, of course, including the Google for Startups Accelerator. Our roadmap for growth is really focused on expanding across Canada. We're also launching a new product in Q3 that will increase our LTV per client by 50% overnight. We recently closed our seed round, but we're going to be raising our Series A in Q2 of next year to continue our fast growth in our new technology builds, and then look to international expansion to continually scale our business. Overall, Homewise is an easier, faster, friendlier way to get the best mortgage. And best of all, for our clients, it's completely free. I'd love to discuss Homewise with you further and how we're continually building the easiest way to get the best mortgage. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Our viewers are eager to know, how are you different from existing rate aggregator websites? At the end of the day, do your customers really only care about rates?
A big problem in the marketplace is competitors focus way too much on rate when consumers are much more focused on advice. And that's why our goal is actually to take in the client's information and provide them the best options based on their unique needs. So they can get the lowest rate if it makes sense to them, but also get the best features that will save them the most money today and into the future. And we provide that transparency that they need to make the best decisions.
All right, now I'll turn it over to Valerie from Ava Technologies based in Vancouver. Ava creates indoor gardening technology to help people experience the magic and the sustainability of home growing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Valerie Song, and I'm the CEO here at Ava. We're a 20-time award-winning startup on a mission to give anyone the gift of growing. So I'm going to do something interactive here. Please type in, "I'm a plant killer" in the comment section if you've ever accidentally killed your plants. Awesome. Well, you're not alone. Actually, nearly 90% of new gardeners give up on growing plants because they're so hard to take care of and easy to kill. Is it too much water, not enough water, too much humidity, not enough humidity? Plants really just can't communicate their needs, and they don't come with good growing instructions either. So if only your plants could just talk to you and tell you exactly what they needed. Well, here at Ava, a team of plant scientists, foodies, and engineers have assembled to create a beautiful solution to help plant killers grow killer plants, 100% germination guaranteed. Introducing Ava Bite. There's never been a smarter, more elegant, or fun way to grow your own greens. Ava Bite is the world's first smart indoor garden that can actually communicate with you to tell you what it needs via Google or Alexa. They work with our pre-seeded, nutrient-loaded pods that are curated by our horticulturists. We've actually won several awards, and it's also a made in Canada product to top. So after you connect your garden to Wi-Fi, all you have to do is scan your pod pack, pour in some water, plant your pods, and you're ready to get growing. And unlike competitors, our unique differentiation is that we're kind of like the Tesla of gardens. We're the only smart countertop garden that uses AI, 5 environmental sensors, a camera, Wi-Fi, and voice connection to grow your plants on autopilot. So for the same price as our top competitor, you're accessing much more robust features, and compared to cheaper alternatives, you're actually growing full-size plants year-round that could supplement your diet. And all this is just starting at $10 a month for a consistent supply of 5 pod packs per year, growing fresh herbs instead of buying plastic clamshells of herbs. And that's just a no-brainer. You can also choose to finance the device for an additional $40 a month. So choose from one of our 10 current pod packs or follow us for the launch of our new pod packs each quarter. And Ava farmers are loving their gardens around the world. Our customers have grown thousands of plants, and we've been covered by many media outlets and won global awards with an average rating of 4.67 out of 5. We're super excited with our chefs, our influencers being really excited and on board as well. And the market size for gardening is huge, yet people are still discovering smart tech-enabled gardens. Our customers can actually grow $2,000 to $15,000 worth of plants over the life cycle of Bite, and 50% more than average liked Bite in a retail store demo. You can grow up to 5 times faster using 10 times less space, 7,000 plus plants grown by Bites and counting, and that represents about $1,000 per customer over 5 years. The pandemic is really a perfect timing to help us accelerate adoption, and we've got super exciting innovations coming in our pipeline from 50 plus varieties in R&D and counting. And we've got just executive team to get growing with exits over $1.5 billion to companies like Intel and Electrolux. We're ready to expand our innovation lineup. So we have an exciting new innovation to launch at just around the $30 price point, increasing accessibility to larger markets to try a brand. We've even got interest from big brand retailers that want to take an equity stake to jump on board this rocket ship category. So our ultimate vision is to become the new standard appliance in every home. Very soon, we'll have a Bite of all sizes and price points to meet different needs as we grow our market share. There's literally a Bite for everyone. So, with retailers excited about our product, a fresh round of capital raised, 3 patents pending, and exciting new products to launch just next month, we're ready to scale quickly. So, for those of you who are interested in investment opportunities, or if you might know any real estate developers that are interested in piloting Megabyte and Gigabyte with us, please email me at valerie@avagrows.com. Grab a bite and get growing with Ava today at avagrows.com. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Val. Such a wonderful mission. Can you tell us how has the pandemic, if at all, affected interest in indoor gardening?
That's a great question. COVID-19 has brought a tremendous amount of interest to indoor gardening. And according to National Gardening Survey, there were about 18 million new gardeners last year in the US alone. So nearly 1 in 5 people started growing their own food at home for the first time. 50% overall are gardening. So imagine just how many of these 18 million new gardeners are experiencing challenges when it comes to growing their own plants for the first time. So our website actually saw a 3,000% increase in organic traffic, and we were sold out of product in 1 month with $0 of ad spend. So by using Byte, consumers are taking an active step to gain more control of their quality of lives at home. And Byte is really a tool for them to experiment, develop new hobbies, and enjoy something really, truly magical during the pandemic. So, with more people shifting purchase and consumption behaviors dramatically post pandemic, we're only seeing continued increase in demand for options to access fresh food year round from the comfort of their own homes, even if they have to grow it themselves.
All right, next up, it's my pleasure to introduce Sid, co-founder and CEO of Somati. Based in Waterloo, Ontario, Somati aims to empower businesses to leverage the most important asset they own, the voice of the customer. Over to you, Sid.
Hi, my name is Sid, and I'm the CEO and co-founder at Somati. And today, I'm going to take you guys on an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour on how a customer service operation works. Service operations today have realized that they have a gold mine of data, the customer conversations, and they're desperately trying to mine it for insights that can help them become better. Now, it all starts with a phone call, email, or a chat session from someone just like you. And if a company wants to use this information, here's the convoluted mess of systems that they have to put in place to get that data into insights. As you can imagine, this causes problems. First, they have to connect their 10 different systems together, clean up the data to make sure they remove any confidential information, and then integrate another dozen tools to analyze this data. Not just that, but the data is scattered across systems. It takes months of implementation time and involvement from their own IT team, even after the system is built to keep it up and running. And there's a significant upfront investment. How do I know all of this? I used to run customer support organizations for companies like PTC and Symantec for the last 15 years, and I've been through all of these challenges myself. And that's why we built Somati. Somati simplifies the process of turning a customer conversation into business insights. In doing so, we bring data together from all the different systems and automate time-consuming and expensive tasks like quality control. Traditionally, companies only consume a very small subset of the data because of the amount of time and effort it takes to go through it. With Somati, we empower customers to analyze every single interaction across all of their channels and really listen to the voice of their customers. So, how do we go about doing it? Well, first, we integrate with the systems that our customers are already using. We've already done the work to build adapters and integrations into CRMs, IVRs, chat systems that are industry standard. Then we analyze the data points that are relevant to a customer service organization, and we've built our models based on industry best practices because we are from the industry, and we are continually training it as we collect data on a daily basis. And we also provide our customers with a way to pick and choose what's important to them so that they can define what a good interaction is, and we account for the uniqueness in their business. Finally, we package all of this information up, everything that we found interesting, and we send it as notifications to the right people as it happens. This really changes the game. It makes it so that your teams can be proactive in how they work with their customers and get to issues before they escalate. Best part is we can get this enterprise-wide implementation done in 2 weeks. We've had a chance to work with some amazing customer-first organizations during our journey, and we've helped them save thousands of hours of manual work. In fact, earlier this year during COVID, we saw a considerable increase in the number of escalations and transactions that our customers were handling. We have grown with them and we've scaled our platform to process millions of interactions on demand. During this time, we've quadrupled our MRR and we have amassed such a rich data set of customer conversations that it helps us refine the accuracy of our machine learning models and get even better. Now, in today's market, customer service can really decide the fate of a product or a company. Being able to deliver a flawless experience every single time is not an aspiration, it's a requirement. And this is a worldwide problem. We are looking at millions of agents, customer service agents across Europe, United States, in India, and the Philippines. And this includes both companies that have their in house customer service and those who work with outsourced partners or BPOs. And the industry is growing 13% year over year. We at Somati are focused in North America and India on a few verticals, and that opportunity alone is worth $27 billion. We have an amazing team of people who's going to get us there. I come from the industry myself, so I know a lot of the ins and outs of it. We have Rashmi, who comes from the financial industry, and we have an amazing group of people who have solved really hard technical and sales problems in some very well known companies over the last few years and have taken a product from an idea all the way to a go to market. To do this, we're asking for $5 million as we take Somati to its next phase of its journey. We want to make Somati the de facto standard for measuring and monitoring customer experience and provide our customers a seamless way to integrate it with their enterprise workflows. Somati is going to be the standard for the way customer experience is measured in the future. And we need your help with that. Thank you.
Great work. Thank you. The audience is asking why customer service teams need Somati's service if they're already recording calls for quality control.
Yeah, all calls do get recorded for quality control purposes. That's the best part about this, is that organizations are already sitting on this data. What we haven't had for a long time is the ability to actually comb through as it comes in and really find those little nuggets of information that can then be shared with the organization at large. Normally, when we work with our customers, we see that they have a huge amount of audio that they've stored over the years, and they've only gone through maybe 1 or 2% of it to coach their agents. But that the way they went about going through the 1 or 2% seems arbitrary. It's either based on random sampling or whatever case it is, it really doesn't, it's not a relevant sample set. So in that case, the real nuggets of information are in the other 98% of the data, which Somati is helping our customers get through and really find insights from.
Thank you so much, Sid. Now, last up before our intermission, I'd love to introduce the Nocri team. Nocri is a behavioral skills assessment tool that improves diversity without impacting work performance or hiring efficiency.
Hi, my name is Faisal Ahmed, and I'm one of the co-founders and Chief Technology Officer at Nocri. Nocri is an AI-powered assessment tool for talent acquisition that helps reduce bias and shortlist the best fit candidates for interviews. Our goal is to diminish conscious and unconscious human bias in the hiring process. Companies are spending millions of dollars to source diverse candidates, but the same companies are still struggling to hire top diverse talent. Why is that? Data shows that while there is a lot of effort being put into sourcing at the moment, these Fortune 1000s are still relying on traditional assessments and screening techniques that are proven to be biased. Nocri merges machine learning and the notable practice of IO psychology to provide a one-of-its-kind skills-based platform that diminishes bias at scale and reduces adverse impact in hiring. So let me explain how Nocri does it. And to do that, it's important to lay out some context. Traditionally, IO psychology has identified structured behavioral interviews as one of the best assessments to achieve the highest prediction to on-the-job performance while having the least amount of adverse impact. This is in comparison to other popular assessment methodologies such as cognitive assessments or personality tests. So why are structured behavioral interviews not used extensively? The challenge with the traditional administration of these interviews is they're extremely time-consuming and costly to administer. Even if organizations find the will and budget to do so, us humans are not the best at reliably following structure required by these interviews. And we have several human biases that eventually come out despite the structure baked into the assessment. Nocri has a machine learning solution to address these challenges and deploy one of the best assessment methodologies at scale. We use NLP algorithms to identify behavioral content in interview transcripts. Nocri does NLP analysis on only the content of the transcript by converting that speech into text. Our scoring is purely based on behavioral content in a candidate's response. So we never use historical hiring data to train our algorithm, which ensures that historical biases in hiring decisions do not make their way into our analysis. Each candidate is guaranteed the same assessment, ensuring that the most fundamental aspect of structured behavioral interviews is preserved. So Nocri is able to deliver a proven assessment methodology in a way it is supposed to. And that is because of ethical and responsible implementation of machine learning. Customers find using Nocri extremely simple. The recruiter logs onto the dashboard, they choose a job persona, and Nocri autofills skills and questions required to assess. This assessment is pushed to the candidate. Candidate receives a beautiful custom branded assessment experience. And on the back end, Nocri's objective algorithm provides a detailed analysis and scores of the candidate's performance. We also integrate with some of the world's leading applicant tracking systems to further improve hiring efficiency and help reduce adverse impact at scale. We're used globally by some of the world's leading organizations like IBM, the Department of Defense, EF, Novartis, and many others. We're also partnered with other world-leading organizations such as Google and SAP. On average, customers have seen a 25% increase in racial and gender diversity in the shortlist of candidates. And what they've seen is that Nocri is not just screening and shortlisting based on tokenism. The Nocri shortlisted candidates are actually better performers. So if you're ready to reduce adverse impact, ready to help systemic bias in the hiring process, and ready to increase racial and gender diversity in your organizations, we'd love to show you a demo. So please go to nocri.com and click schedule a demo, and let's change the world together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Faisal. Such a needed offering. A follow-up question for you. How do you address the issue of bias in your machine learning algorithms?
Yeah, that is a wonderful question. So in addition to not using historical hiring data, which I spoke to in the presentation, we work to identify other places where bias can creep in. For example, in speech-to-text algorithms can be biased towards for recording equipment. We've done research and developed systems to identify a threshold for automated speech-to-text. And if the transcription falls below the threshold, we send it out for like manual review. Another example is the question design itself can be biased towards certain subgroups. So we really study the impact of questions on subgroups and refine the questions to make them inclusive. Taking measures such as these has really helped us deliver the results on diversity that we have and helped our customers really increase diversity in their organizations. Thank you.
Well, first and foremost, a tremendous thank you and congratulations to the 6 teams we've heard from so far. I hope you are all as inspired as I am. During our 5-minute intermission, we'll take a look back at the journey that our founders and startup teams have been on throughout the program. So sit back and enjoy, and don't go anywhere. After the intermission, we will hear from the remaining 6 startup teams.
Hey Google,
How can I help?
show me the Google for Startups Accelerator Canada recap video.
Sure, let's get started.
It's been a bit of a journey to get here. We can't thank you all enough for agreeing to spend the next 10 weeks of your lives with us. But I'm more eager to hear from each of you.
Our company is called Homewise, and we simplify the mortgage process online with predictive technology for consumers.
Our company's called Ava, and this is how the pods look.
ICYU is a video platform for field service teams.
Our startup is Nocri, and what we do is we provide AI-based behavioral skills assessments for talent acquisition teams.
Our mission is to help patients with brain and spinal cord diseases.
At Orbiseed, our goal is to how do we help engineers automate some of their tedious and manual processes so they can focus on the things that are more important.
We build intelligent automation for healthcare. Our goal is to intelligently connect healthcare for the future to improve healthcare access and outcomes.
Part of the work that we do, in addition to designing a product directly focused on providing people with insight, information, is actually help create awareness and education around why accessibility matters.
We integrate into a call center or a support center's tech stack, and in real time, we analyze all the conversations that are happening either on phone, email, chat, whatever the channel is.
We're virtual, platform-powered concierge service, and we're tackling the big fragmented problem of home ownership.
We detect changes on any page that is interesting for you.
Our startup is together, and we make software to help enterprises manage mentoring programs for their employees.
You have nothing short of 100+ Google mentors who support throughout the program in varying areas of expertise. We kick off the program by developing bespoke OKRs or goals for each startup team. From there, we dive deep into product and design UX.
The critical mentality that I've always rallied around when it comes to working with startups is that time is really your most valuable resource. It comes down to this idea of like flexibility and efficiency of product development is like your number one key to success.
Next, we focus on technical infrastructure as well as AI and machine learning.
I'm a researcher at Brain. My area of focus is really how do we train models to fulfill multiple criteria?
I'm wondering if you can do even more with it. Detecting change is one thing, but if you've gone to all the trouble to do that, it seems like you probably know more than just that there was a change.
The next stop is Growth Week, tackling digital marketing, brand building, and sales strategy.
AK and I are back. We are excited. This one is all about validate and how to overcome the objections that you receive.
Our team just had an awesome session with Jamie Gargazigius talking all things YouTube.
And our content concludes with all things people and leadership.
I've been at Google for over 10 years, and I've spent pretty much all 10 of them doing learning and development.
We just met with Sabrina Jeremiah, and that was awesome. We talked about leadership and team and how to recruit great talent.
And then we take a brief moment to celebrate with a demo day and graduation. Congratulations, you guys. We're so thrilled to have worked with you this past 3 months.
Congratulations. Great work. I'm really excited to see everything that comes from this.
So inspired by the work you've done this time. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome back, everyone. I think it goes without saying that it has been a busy and rewarding 10 weeks. We are on to the remaining 6 startups in our phenomenal 2021 cohort. Up next, I have the pleasure of introducing Nurescence, a medical device company that combines machine learning with its proprietary optical technology to solve critical medicinal and clinical challenges for overcoming neurological disorders.
Hi, we are Team Nurescence. We are physicists, neurosurgeons, neuroscientists, medical device professionals, engineers, and business professionals, all with the same mission to optimize therapies for the brain and the spinal cord. 50% of epilepsy patients don't respond to drugs. 30% qualify for surgery, but the success of surgery is only 60 to 80%, leaving a large number of patients with no solution at all. For the surgery to succeed, the surgeons need to understand which part of the brain causes the seizures and which other parts get triggered by these areas. This is a problem of understanding how the brain communicates with itself. But the communication happens in the level of neurons. So we need a technology that enables us image the brain in the level of neuronal circuits. Current technologies such as fMRI, PET, or electrophysiology do not provide data that is granular enough. For example, they can't fully determine where the seizures start from. Hence, we have used optics to create a technology that can give us high resolution data in the level of neurons. And we have created these light-well flexible probes that enable longitudinal data collection over the span of days, weeks, or months if necessary. We have a strong focus on the protection of our IP assets, and we use a lot of machine learning. Machine learning is the most efficient way to find relevant features in our data. For example, we can find neurons in the movies from the brain. We can find the activities of these neurons, and we can use it to understand the difference in brain activity when it is seizing versus when it is not seizing. We have realized that the preclinical research market has the same need. Understanding how different brain areas signal each other helps us understand disease mechanisms, which helps us create disease-modifying therapeutic or help in understanding the efficacy of these therapeutics. This has caused us to come up with a smart business strategy. We use the versions of our product that do not require any regulatory approval, and we offer them to this market. So we have completed products in this market, and we have agreements with highly respected companies in the world, in North America, Asia, and Europe, to help us with the sales to this market. The serviceable addressable market, this is the preclinical market, is just short of $1 billion. For this part of the business, we are fully funded by BDC and Luminate. We are generating revenue from this market, and our customers include places such as Johns Hopkins and Caltech. We will be the go-to company for in vivo brain imaging, and in 2024, we will be generating more than $30 million in revenue just from the preclinical segment alone. The clinical market is more than $1 billion. We are currently doing the R&D for this market, and that will prepare us to get into discussions with large players to generate interest for our technology. That will bring us to the first human studies, and it will prepare us to apply formally for FDA and Health Canada approvals in 2024. We are a team of experts who are passionate about this problem. We have a transformative technology for a real need, which has a sizable market. And our ask from you is to please get in touch with us so we can periodically update you on our progress until we are ready to raise a $10 million round in 2022. When we joined Google, we had 3 goals. We wanted to increase our marketing and growth. We wanted to see if we can offer a neural net-based key product on the cloud to our preclinical market. And we wanted to see what kind of machine learning techniques we should use for our clinical market. And we have been able to address all 3. We have been able to put in quantitative measures that enable the creation of intelligent marketing strategy. We made a partnership with Rewire Neuro that helped us change a process that would take weeks, and it had only 60% accuracy, to a process that takes only seconds with more than 90% accuracy. This is going to be a key product that we will be offering our preclinical sector on the cloud. And finally, using Google AutoML accelerated our understanding of our seizure, no seizure problem, and has brought us a step closer to our clinical market entry. Please join us, optimize therapies for the brain and the spinal cord. Contact me at my email address or give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you, Yaz. The audience would love to hear more about the clinical indications Nurescence is excited about and why.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Well, the first indication is epilepsy. And the reason for that is because one of our co-founders is actually a neurosurgeon. He's the director of epilepsy surgery at Toronto Western Hospital, but he's also a neuroscientist. He actually has a whole research group working on epilepsy. But all neurodegenerative diseases can actually benefit from our technology. So these are diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, depression. So it is a large market. It's a multi-billion-dollar market. And unfortunately, it has a big growth. There is a 16% growth in our market.
Such impactful work. Thank you. Next, I'm thrilled to pass it over to Visualping, a Vancouver-based process automation startup that alerts users when something important changes on a web page of their choice.
Hello, everybody. My name is Serge Sager. I'm the founder of Visualping. Visualping is a very simple system that allows users to detect changes in websites. In this case, the way it works, Theresa Lam wants to be monitoring a clinical trial in clinicaltrials.gov. What she needs to do is add the page she wants to track. She needs to select the area she wants to be alerted for when it changes. As you can see here, results in progress, and add the email alert she wants to receive the alerts on. What the system will do, it will actually ping the website repetitively until a change is detected. When a change is detected, Theresa will receive an email and with the screenshot of the area she wanted to track. And we also highlight what has changed. In this case, you can see that the status of the clinical trial is approved and the results have been published. Theresa can then now go and look at the results. We actually alert people via email, Slack, webhook, API, text message, and mobile app. And users can also input all the pages they want to track, either via our homepage, via the API, or via bulk import. Visualping is part of robotic process automation, which is red hot now, and essentially saving people from having to watch websites and to track and to waste time refreshing pages. Our technology is based on we're doing two things. First of all, we're taking screenshots, a little bit like Google. We crawl through websites that users want to be monitoring. And the second thing we do is tracking, comparing those websites, comparing those screenshots, and alerting users when a change is relevant. There's a lot of machine learning and artificial intelligence that we're building to be able to alert users only when a change actually matters to them. So this is work in progress and actually try to improve the relevancy of our alerts. Today we have 1.5 million users from around the world. This is a screenshot of our Google Analytics. As you can see, only some countries in the Sahara are not part of our user base. This is thanks to a fanatical user base. As you can see here, a lot of people want to share the wealth and want to tell everyone, use Visualping and stop refreshing the page. The other reason why we also had a huge user base, it's because we are having a lot of earned media. We've been recently in NBC News, and we've been featured by a lot of other media outlets. We also have thousands of personal use cases, from checking out of stocks to checking your ex-husband or ex-wife social media profile, to understanding the number of cases of coronavirus. It's also used for apartment and house hunting, job hunting, etc. On the business side, there are also thousands of different use cases, from tracking changes in load, tracking your competitors. Everybody has a competitor, and we are able to let you know whenever they're actually doing something that might affect your business. We also been used for dephasing monitoring, for requests for proposals, and to track also users' feedback online. We have users in 85% of Fortune 500 companies, and users in every vertical, and more than 15,000 companies have more than 3 users on Visualping. Our system is freemium. We have pricing starts at $4 per month, and we also have obviously group plans where some of the contracts we have been making are past $10,000 per year. Our company is product-led growth, meaning that people are actually using the system and they're paying with their credit cards, and it becomes so compelling for companies that sometimes we get to do a contract for the entire company, like Zoom is doing and competing against Cisco WebEx. In our case, we have today $1 million of annual recurring revenue. We're growing fast. We have doubled our revenue since last quarter. Our margins are really high too. We do storage or we do crawling, which are both very cheap. So our margins are around 90%. And today, 70% of our revenues come from business. So we are transitioning from a consumer company to a B2B company. So that's the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, please add them in the chat bot, and I'll be happy to answer those.
Thank you so much, Serge. What are your main objectives for your latest funding round, and what does Visualping plan to accomplish next?
That's a good question. Thanks, Ashley. So our main objective for the next round is to segment both our users from consumers and businesses. Both have different willingness to pay, different conversion ratios, different service needs, and obviously business users will need more premium features, which we can upprice and take advantage of it in order to make more money. So we're going to do like Dropbox did in 2013. We're going to launch Visualping for Business. We allow users to have a group subscription, which normally is annual and is going to be more expensive versus the personal one where we don't offer service, for example. And once we do that, we're also going to launch Visualping for all the different use cases we have, like Visualping for lawyers, for competitive intelligence, for defacing monitoring and security, and so on and so forth.
Congratulations. And now a warm welcome to Sarah from Felix AI. Felix is a zero-code, omni-channel, and AI-powered virtual assistant for healthcare workflows.
I'd like to start by sharing the story of Greg Price, a 31-year-old Alberta man whose death the health minister called an indictment of our healthcare system. Experts agree that Greg's death was preventable had he been able to access care sooner. His journey started with a fax referral, followed by 59 weeks of phone and fax tag between multiple disconnected providers to get the surgery he needed to remove a routine tumor. He died 3 days later. For those interested, Greg's story has now been turned into a documentary to raise awareness for his cautionary tale. Johns Hopkins estimates that up to 2/3 of all deaths relating to medical errors are caused by miscommunication during care transitions. How did we get here? Over the last 50 years, the numbers of physicians in North America has grown by about 200%, while the number of admin staff supporting care delivery has grown by over 4,000%. This is largely driven by navigating siloed and fragmented health systems, a problem that's only gotten worse in the last decade. You can see the technologies adopted to keep pace with this growth, including phone, fax, e-fax, and more recently, digital forms, portals, and apps, the combination of which has only further increased the drudgerous and repetitive admin load on healthcare providers and their workflows. For reference, the average single physician usually gets 50 to 100 faxes a day and double that in incoming phone calls. These tasks alone would typically require 8 hours or a full workday of a single staff member. Most clinics have multiple physicians sharing admins, so you can imagine the compounding workload. It also leaves us in an interesting place where healthcare providers, their staff, and patients compensate by effectively and collectively ending up as routers, fill the gaps between a disconnected and often complex care journey. For providers, this means opaque communication, particularly at the point of patient transfers. And for patients, this typically means lack of access to the healthcare system, longer wait times, and from time to time, in critical cases, admin errors resulting in death, as in the case of Greg Price. My name is Sarah Benbrahim, and I'm a co-founder of Felix AI. Felix is an omni-channel and AI-powered virtual assistant for healthcare workflows. We're able to consistently save over 75% of staff time on repetitive and cognitive workflow tasks, empowering clinics to do what they do best, deliver excellent patient care. How do we do this? We offer highly configurable and zero-code virtual assistants that combine computer vision, NLP, and voice technology to automate around the edges of existing fax, phone, web portals, mobile apps, and practice management silos, followed by an API-first approach to rebuild the electronic medical record stack for the future. Not only do we partner with leading healthcare and EMR providers to deploy Felix as a plugin on top of their existing workflows and channels, but our automation APIs are already being used by healthcare app developers to power their own solutions as well. From our research, savings from fax, phone, and booking automation alone are estimated at over $100 billion a year in North America. The total admin spend, which includes prior authorizations and billings, would save upwards of $300 billion a year. These figures are significant and will go a long way in improving the healthcare journey for providers and patients, but this isn't where we ultimately see value creation in healthcare. We believe, and this is at the core of our vision, that driving this automation and data liquidity across fragmented health workflows at scale will uniquely position us to embed real-world clinical decision support within the workflows themselves to realize downstream savings of $700 billion to $1 trillion in North America alone. This is our North Star. To date, we've raised over $6 million USD, not officially announced, to fuel our next phase of growth. We have over 200 clinics on our waitlist for 2021, which we're scaling through as fast as possible. We've secured channel partners consisting of in over 10,000 clinics across Canada alone, including 2 of the top 3 EMRs. This is in addition to our US launch in the fall across 3 of the largest specialty networks in the country. By the end of 2021, Felix will be automating over 100,000 admin tasks a day. Our leadership team has over 40 years of combined experience at the intersection of care delivery, workflow automation, healthcare IT, data science, cloud, and risk management. We're also supported by best-in-class industry advisors. Our lead scientific advisor actually helped build some of Google's foundational vision and OCR tools 10 years ago. We're confident that our team has the relevant experience and domain expertise to address these complex healthcare IT challenges where others have failed. And we're laying the foundation to be a category leader in the healthcare automation space for years to come.
A really great question from our audience for you, Sarah, and really what we all want to know, why has this not been done before?
Well, healthcare is generally very risk averse and resistant to new technology, which isn't necessarily a bad thing given that there are lives at stake. Yet it's somewhat of a paradox with all these shiny digital health platforms and tools available to providers in what's now a very crowded market, consisting of patient and provider portals, care collaboration platforms, virtual care solutions, mobile apps, but none have been able to dislodge the fax, and phone. And this is something that we're fascinated with. We've spent years studying, and it's strongly shaped our go-to-market thesis. And it comes down to this. Fax and phone are still the ubiquitous communication channels in healthcare. Every clinic monitors their fax line daily and answers their phone throughout the day. And unlike other solutions that try to drive behavior changes away from these existing workflows to completely new platforms and solutions, which is often very daunting for providers and clinic staff, Felix meets them where they are today. So we deploy a virtual agent on top of their existing EMR and channels, including their existing fax and phone lines, which enables them to transform their workflows with minimal change management. In doing this, we also quickly set them up for the future without asking them for a current overhaul of their current ways.
Thank you, Felix team. Now I'll be handing it off to Jack from Orbiseed. Orbiseed transforms architecture, engineering, and construction workflows using AI to accelerate document processing and to unlock high-quality value from building data.
Large construction projects, such as this skyscraper shown here, cost $1.9 billion and anywhere from 30 to 60 months to design and build. To collaborate together, construction engineers communicate designs using complex technical documents. This often involves PDFs of written specifications that are in thousands of pages, CAD drawings that are defining every single component for each floor of the building, and work breakdown structure that outlines every single task that need to be performed during the construction phase. As a result, a significant amount of time is spent looking at the technical drawing documents to perform designs, do calculation, and check for errors, which accounts for as much as 70% of a construction engineer's time. The manual process of reading and checking those documents is time-consuming, tedious, and prone to human error. On the other hand, not spending enough time to quality check designs could lead to serious consequences, ranging from construction reworks to expensive lawsuits that averages around $20 million each project. On the more serious end, this could even lead to catastrophic events that cause loss of life due to professional negligence. Coming from the industry myself, I personally had to perform many of those tasks, which is really boring and made me change careers. Luckily, this is also what led me to become an entrepreneur in order to solve this problem. Orbseed's solution to this problem is an AI platform that quickly and accurately identifies costly design errors from hundreds of documents and summarizes the results 200 times faster than the manual process, giving construction engineers a fast way to validate designs and reduce errors. Powering our product is our world-leading document extraction algorithm, which uses a combination of natural language processing, computer vision, and machine learning to convert complex engineering documents into meaningful data. Recently, our team has broken a world record with our patent-pending methodology, which is currently under review to be published in a scientific conference later this year. Our total addressable market is $34.1 billion in just North America alone. This is calculated using our average contract size of $216,000 a year and the number of engineering companies in North America. To start, we're targeting engineering companies who specialize in project management services, which account for 8.4% of all engineering practice. Over the past 9 months, we've seen an average month-over-month growth rate of 47% on the number of documents being processed, with each document averaging several hundreds of pages in length. And don't just take our word for it. Our customers love us. I have mentioned this is a night and day difference from what they used to do. We're also getting endorsement from the AI community on our solution of the construction industry, including Yoshua Bengio, who is known as one of the godfathers of AI. We're looking to close 3 new customers this month, which will more than double our revenue compared to the same time last year. We use a tier-based pricing model that scales on the number of documents that is being processed, ranging from $90,000 a year for a smaller engineering firm to $360,000 a year, targeting some of the largest engineering companies who work on global scale. We're all a trial funding team consists of serial entrepreneurs with previous tech startup experiences, world-renowned algorithm engineer who has competed at national level programming Olympics, experienced senior executives who have built $200 million businesses in his previous career. Supporting us is a diverse team consists of engineers, product managers, sales and marketing gurus, and designers. Many of our team were also serial entrepreneurs themselves and successfully ran their own startups in the past. We're currently raising a seed round to bring our annual recurring revenue to $5 million by 2022. We'll be looking to expand the use case of our technology in construction insurance and digital twins, as well as doubling our team to better support a growing customer base. Thank you for coming today, and please reach out to me if you're interested in our mission to transform the construction industry using AI technology.
Thank you, Jack. Such fascinating projects. It's clear that there is a lot of liability at stake in your industry. How do you build trust with the engineers leveraging your AI technology?
It is critical for engineers to be able to verify and back up their decisions due to liability and professional responsibility. So we design our platform to provide explainable AI that not only gives them advice, but also show how the AI made the decision so the construction engineer can verify the results. They can also override any of the results themselves if they don't trust the AI accuracy.
Thank you, Jack. All right, everyone, we have 2 more amazing founders to hear from. Now I'll hand it over to Casey from Virtuo. Virtuo is an Alberta-based home concierge platform that delivers the promise of home. turning it into the first-class experience that it deserves to be. Over to you, Casey.
Hi, I'm Casey Couture, the CEO and co-founder of Virtuo. Our home, the most important place of our lives. It's also the most significant purchase we'll ever make. If you purchased a home, you know how exciting it is the day you sign those papers. Now think about what happened next. You likely blocked it out. That excitement, that honeymoon quickly fades into reality. The truth is, buying and owning a home is a lot of work. In the first 9 months, you're forced to deal with over 60 service providers, 60. And it doesn't end there. It never really ends, in fact. In this day and age of hyper-convenience and on-demand everything, how is it that the most important thing in our life is so difficult, inefficient, and it operates like this still today? It's because home ownership is highly fragmented. It's made up of hundreds of disconnected parts and players. Businesses who are specifically focused on their individual products and services within their own verticals. And there's a lot of them. But customers don't want this. We want the end result. In this case, we just want a home. The model's broken, and it's effectively us as homeowners who pay the price. I know this all too well because I was one of these businesses. From a one-truck cartage company my grandparents founded in 1938 to a full-service relocation company with over 175 staff, my co-founders and I learned very quickly how messy this process was and the impact that it had on people. When relocating executives across the world, it operated under a different model. They got a VIP experience, and it was seamless compared to when you and I moved across the street, just like the other 35 or 40 million Americans that move every year. Why is it? What was the key difference? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not technology, but the answer is humans. Humans, what we've learned, are critical in this emotional and complex journey. We know that this can be an amazing experience. We know because we've done it and proven it for years, which is why we launched Virtuo. We want to solve this mess once and for all. Virtuo is a tech-enabled concierge experience designed to transform these universal pains into a first-class experience for all, what it deserves to be. The concierge acts as the trusted advocate, guiding people through this messy journey, saving them time, money, marriages, and headaches along the way. The technology connects it all and personalizes it all, but most importantly, it makes our team of humans superhuman so that we can scale this experience and deliver it to more and more people. Our business model is simple. We partner with large housing and mortgage companies upstream in the buying process. They include us on every deal, and we deliver amazing move-in experience, compliments of them. This is our strategic wedge into the home. People love us, and they trust us. We build a level of trust that a SaaS product can never build in a lifetime. We do it in a matter of days. Since we found our fit in 2018, we've proven we have a growing and profitable model. We've generated revenues up to 1.6 million last year in 2020 with a few profitable months in there. We've successfully managed over 5,000 moves, and as of today, we've activated more clients this year than we have all of last year. Most importantly, we've 10x the productivity on our human experience, driving down our active time on file from several hours down to 45 minutes with room to go. And we haven't sacrificed our first-class experience, what we're all passionate about. We've assembled our rockstar leadership team, and collectively, we've taken products from startup and led businesses up to 350 million in revenue, acquisition, and IPO. But the important thing is what we're aligned on our core and what's important to us. And it's testimonials like these are the reasons why we get out of bed in the morning. Now is the time to give people the experience that they deserve. Our model's proven, our team is in place, our clients love us, and we're looking for strategic partners and investors to help us supercharge our growth and help us deliver on the promise of home to everyone, everywhere. Thank you.
If only this had existed when we purchased our first home. A question for you. How do you plan to scale quickly given the human element of your business model?
That's a great question. It's our obsession to remove every administrative task from the concierge team, and so they can focus on what they do best, delivering a first-class experience. And we're coming pretty close, but we still have some work to do. So we've leveraged basic automation, obviously, and over and above that, we've leveraged AI tools such as robotic process automation to deal with the many forms and filling out forms behind the scenes, and also the execution of those documents through embedded e-signature forms, which also enhances the customer experience. We leverage natural language processing and cognitive services so that we can ultimately personalize the concierge experience behind the scenes. And also we leverage those to enhance the experience for the end user. We're leveraging also ML models. How can we predict how the experience is going, and how can we make recommendations behind the scenes to the concierge team so that they can streamline and replicate an amazing experience across thousands of customers?
Well, everyone, we have reached our final presenter for the day. I'm thrilled to introduce Matt from Together Software. Together makes software to help HR professionals at enterprises launch, manage, and measure mentoring programs at scale for their employees.
Hi, I'm Matt, the CEO and co-founder of Together. Our software helps a company's employees connect and learn from one another. Every single company in the world uses employee connection to address critical business challenges, including improving learning and development through programs such as mentorship, to enhancing diversity, equity, inclusion by providing more exposure of diverse talent to senior leaders, to improving employee retention by trying to connect high potential talent with senior leaders to help them chart a career path through the organizations, to providing new employees with onboarding buddies to support a smoother onboarding, amongst many more examples. Unfortunately, existing solutions are ineffective. Existing solutions like learning management systems, human resource information systems, manual programs, or organic, i.e. no programs at all, were not built for the world that we live in. Especially now that our world has become more remote or hybrid, these solutions were not built to support human connection and interaction in these working environments. And so when you try to make them do these things, they're a lot of work. They provide a limited or no visibility and reporting into these interactions. And any knowledge that is shared within a specific connection is lost to those outside of it. And so inevitably, these solutions, they either fail or they are limited to a small number of employees. Our software makes it simple for companies to launch, manage, and measure programs where employees learn from one another. Our software has out-of-the-box programs to make it easy to launch in weeks rather than months. Our user-friendly software is focused on human-to-human connection, and our seamless integrations make reporting and analytics native rather than an afterthought. We already work with a number of companies of all sizes, including governments and professional associations too. We work with organizations from hundreds of employees to tens of thousands of employees across a multitude of verticals. Because of the success with these customers, we've had great traction to date. We have close to $770,000 in annual recurring revenue and have grown at 15% month over month for the past 6 months. Our existing product alone is addressing a multi-billion-dollar market. Across companies with hundreds of employees or more, governments, and professional associations, there are hundreds of thousands of customers that need our software. At an average contract value of $16,000, that represents a $3.4 billion market, and we're only getting started. Together was co-founded by myself and Nathan Goldstein, and we've already attracted a number of great employees from world-class organizations like Facebook and Microsoft. We're not currently fundraising, but we'd be excited to get in touch. We're looking to hire people across our entire organization, and we're always excited to partner with organizations who want to address critical business challenges by improving employee connection. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt. Can you tell us a bit more about your target market?
Our target market is organizations of all types and sizes. We work with companies in the for-profit sector with employee counts of 100 plus or more. We work with government agencies at the federal, state, and local level, as well as we work with professional associations across all industries.
All right, and that is a wrap, everyone. A sincere thank you to the amazing founders who presented today. And thank you all for tuning in and supporting Canadian entrepreneurs. On behalf of Google and everyone who has made this program possible, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to our 12 founders and startup teams who have been such a joy to work with over the last 3 months. Thank you to the 100 plus speakers, advisors, experts, and mentors who graciously lent their time, passion, and expertise to the program. And thank you to our partners and other ecosystem builders who do amazing work every day in support of Canadian startups and entrepreneurs. And lastly, thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. Please join me in congratulating these amazing founders who are working to tackle some of the world's largest problems. And if you're interested in connecting with our founders, reach out anytime. Feel free to email our team directly. With that, one final congratulations to today's startups for what they have accomplished so far and what they will continue to accomplish going forward. We cannot wait to see what you do next. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful summer.